There are four novelizations of the Babysitter's Club movie. I consider this to be the official novelization, since it's the only one that's not a picture book under 50 pages long.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
This book was written by A.L. Singer. In the prologue, the girls talk about their babysitting disasters. Stacy had food thrown at her, the Radowskis painted their dog, Nina Marshall cut her hair, a pair of twins tried to confuse Mallory, and Jesse got some kids excited about ballet. Now the 2-year-old boy refuses to take off his tutu for any reason. These are all interesting storylines. I wish they were in the movie. Instead, we get the Christie Show, guest starring Stacy and Marianne. We start with a club meeting where we have the fastest ever recap of who all the girls are. Thank you, guest author! The girls say Alan Gray has a crush on Dawn. He does? But he normally has a crush on Christy. Continuity. Claudia's in summer school. If she doesn't get a good grade, her parents will kick her out of the Babysitter's Club. The others promise to help Claudia study, but they don't. Instead, Christy begs her mom for a phone so they can run the Babysitter's Club out of Christy's house. It sounds like she's given up on Claudia. Stacy babysits her favorite charge, Rosie Wilder. Rosie's Swiss cousin Luca is in town. Stacy's surprised that Luca's a really gorgeous 17-year-old hunk. Oh, she loves him. He's 17? Why didn't the Wilders ask him to babysit? Stacy's so stunned by Luca's gorgeousness. She can't talk, she mostly just stares at him, and she's amazed because he says nice things about her. Luca thinks Stacy is 16, which is outright ridiculous. I know this is not the first time that babysitters have fallen in love with older boys, but this is a movie, so everyone can clearly see he's 4 years older than her. It doesn't work to have him believe they're almost the same age. In fact, it comes across as kind of creepy. Christy takes Jackie Rodowski horseback riding, which is totally out of character for both of them. At the riding range, Cookie Mason uses her dumb friends to distract Marianne. That way she can ask Logan to go out with her to a Smashing Pumpkins concert. Marianne overhears the conversation. She runs away crying and refuses to talk to Logan for over a week. Typical Marianne. Christy's older brothers leave for a camping trip, conveniently taking them out of the entire movie. Christy decides the Babysitter's Club will run a day camp this summer. They'll watch a bunch of kids and make tons of money. The camp works better in the book than in the movie. In the movie, it's just a bunch of random, unnamed kids running wild all the time. In the book, all the characters are named, so you can kind of keep track of them. Susie Barrett and Jackie Radowski get the most focus out of all the kids. Susie says weird things all the time, while Jackie's disappointed when Christy ignores him. The kids are noisy and they bother Mrs. Haberman, the next-door neighbor. They throw donuts into her yard, which is weird. Kids normally eat donuts. They don't throw them away at other people. That is not what little kids do. Logan explains he's not dating Cookie Mason, and that's basically it for him for the rest of the book. Alan Gray asks if he can help with the camp. He's a dweeb, but he'll work for free, so Christy hires him. Alan acts weird most of the time. He says one nice thing about Dawn, and in the end he asks her out to the movies. She says yes, because one awkward compliment is enough to get him a pity date. Christy's father appears. It's been 7 years since she last saw him. He says his job and marriage in California didn't work out. What job? What marriage? Well, he's getting a new job writing about sports, and he can't wait to hang out with his favorite child. He makes no effort to hang out with his other kids, which casts some major doubts on his motivations. Sadly, this angle is lost in the movie, where Christy's older brothers don't exist. Christy ditches a study date with Claudia in order to visit her dad. Claudia's upset for a bit. Then she sees an abandoned greenhouse. They can renovate it and turn it into the new Babysitter's Club headquarters. It'll be like a big arts and crafts project. And Claudia presumably spends weeks working on the renovation. What happened to studying for your science test, Claudia? Isn't that slightly more important than playing interior decorator? Dad makes Christy some special pancakes and buys her a dress, which just goes to show how little he knows about her. He promises to call her mom once he gets settled with a job and a home. He doesn't want her to think he's a loser after all. Patrick, basically everyone thinks you're a loser. There is no way you can get around that. Christy avoids her friends in order to be with her dad, and her friends get mad at her for it. This basic scene repeats on loop for what honestly feels like most of the movie. We could have had a storyline for Jesse or Mallory, but no, let's watch Christy be a terrible person over and over. There are some variations, like Chrissy yells at Watson because he's not her real dad, and the girls get mad at Marianne for keeping Christy's secret. I normally enjoy it when the babysitters fight with each other. That's some good drama. But instead of getting angry, they just get sad and don't talk to each other. It's not entertaining to watch or read. The girls see Christy's dad pick her up from camp. She kisses him hello, so Stacy and Claudia figure that he's Christy's secret boyfriend. Why? He's at least 20 years older than her. And seriously, Claudia, you have seen Christy's dad before. You should recognize him. Stacy tries to hide her diabetes from Luca, only she passes out during a hike. She tells him the truth. He's kind and accepting about it, but she still lies about her age. Because, I don't know, I guess she thinks true love is based on lies. Sounds like something Stacy would think. Cookie tries to sabotage the camp with a stink bomb, only her dumb sidekicks mess it up. The stink bomb goes off in Mrs. Haberman's yard. She's so furious, she threatens to shut the camp down. So, actually, Cookie's sabotage worked perfectly fine. Christy makes a secret phone call to her dad. She does this while sitting in the kitchen right in front of her family members. Christy is terrible at keeping secrets. And then out of nowhere, Christy and the others perform a rap song about body parts. It's super weird. When did they have time to write and choreograph a rap song? Christy's so busy she can't hang out with her friends, but she's got enough free time to prepare a dance number with them? Those two storylines do not make sense together. Christy eventually tells her dad that he's making her life miserable. He's forcing her to lie to everyone for no reason, and she hates it. He promises he'll stop hiding on her birthday. He'll take her to the park. They'll ride on the roller coaster just like old times. Claudia and Stacy go to New York with Luca. At a club, a bouncer refuses to let the girls inside because they're only 13. Luca can't believe they're still in middle school. He complains loudly when they go home. When Stacy calls him a jerk, he responds, "Oh yeah, I'm a big jerk. I'm a jerk for getting mad because you lied to me." That's a great line. It's not in the movie, though. The movie plays this scene for laughs, then transitions into a sad song for the soundtrack. Mrs. Haberman gets mad when some of the kids steal her flowers. They send Dawn to calm her down, because Dawn needs a storyline. Because Dawn loves nature. She and Mrs. Haberman bond over how much they love nature and plants and flowers. On Christy's birthday, the girls plan a big party for her, which is kind of odd because they hate her right now. That's the main storyline. They stand around for an hour waiting for Christy, and they get mad when she doesn't show up to her party. At the same time, Christy's dad leaves town. Christy refuses to believe it. She thinks he's waiting for her at the roller coaster. She goes there by herself, but he's not there. She cries and panics, and a thunderstorm breaks out. She's forced to walk alone in the rain. That's when the babysitters come to rescue Christy. They all apologize, and there's this big scene where they forgive her, and they try to help Christy feel better about her deadbeat dad. Now, the babysitters were able to find Christy because Luca drove them in his car. Luca has a car with at least 8 seats. Wow. Stacy thanks Luca for helping. He kisses her and says he'll be back next summer when she's 14. That does not make their relationship any less creepy. A Cookie and her friends sabotage the greenhouse the night before the city inspectors arrive. The girls are easily able to clean up the damage because they have a small army of children. Cookie watches them work while she sits in a tree. Jackie Radowski hits a home run baseball. It knocks Cookie out of the tree, and she falls into a dumpster. While it's a funny way to get revenge on the main villain, I'm surprised she isn't seriously injured. The city committee is reluctant to give the greenhouse to the Babysitters Club until Mrs. Haberman convinces them. The babysitters are so grateful to Mrs. Haberman, they fancy up the greenhouse and give it to her as a present. Everybody take a picture and say, trees! The end. Post-book follow-up. 99% of this book is the same as the movie. All the scenes and dialogue are taken directly from the script. Sometimes there are minor differences in the way things are phrased, but nothing major. Now here's the interesting part. The novelization contains 3 scenes which aren't in the movie, and these scenes are mentioned in the other novelizations. Clearly, they were in the script, but were cut from the final movie. So first is the half-page scene of Christie's brothers leaving the house. Getting rid of that is not a big deal. And then there's a page-long scene where Christie looks at old family photos. David, Michael, and Karen come in, and they ask about the pictures. Christie is shocked to realize David Michael doesn't even recognize his own father. That was a surprisingly emotional scene. It's not in the movie. In the movie, the kids aren't there. It's just Marianne and Christie talking while they look at an old photo of Christie's mom. Chapter 17 has the last scene that's not in the movie. It's in New York. Stacy and Claudia meet Luca's 3 friends. The friends are jerks. They get drunk and insult the girls for not drinking with them. Luca explains, Stacy is a delicious 16. That's a direct quote. Delicious 16. It is creepy. I do not know why this scene was in the script to begin with. I can see why they cut it from the movie. One problem with this book is the length of the scenes. They're mostly short, normally 1 to 3 pages. Each chapter generally has 4 completely unrelated scenes. There's no attempt to order them in a way that makes sense, and that makes the book hard to read. It's constantly skipping around. It made summarizing this book a pain. It was harder than normal to summarize the book. The book is 24 chapters, including the prologue and epilogue. That's different from the usual 15. The other big change is that this book is in the third person. Overall, it is a not-so-good book, but then again, it's a novelization of a not-so-good movie. It would have been much better if it had been written by one of the regular ghostwriters, or if there was any attempt to improve the story or expand upon the story. Instead, it's basically someone putting a movie script into book form. I would rather watch the movie than read the book. In this case, I give The Babysitter's Club a 2 out of 10.